Hello everyone, I am Akshay Srivastav and today throughout the entirety of this video, I will be sharing something about this initiative called Musicolab. It's an idea that popped into my head and this can basically assist any musician regardless of the scale of operation or the level of competency. The problem that we have identified and we have decided to work on is the loss of skill, or more precisely, the loss of musical skill. You see, people like us, we can go to showrooms and buy musical instruments for ourselves, but there is an entire spectrum of street musicians who have an enormous amount of skill, but do not have the right platform to showcase their abilities. Via Musicolab, we aim to create a social media platform where people like you and I will obviously be looked after, but there will be a special segment or special attention to people who have this skill but not the platform. Now, how do we go about this idea? Well, the entire framework is quite straightforward. First things first, we identify the skilled yet unemployed. That is mostly the street musicians that we see around our houses. Secondly, we groom them. We groom them in a way that they are presentable. We groom them so that they can communicate better. Next, we strike conversations. Conversations with local restaurants, with local cafes, with local open mics. Any event that can need a musician at a small or medium scale can be contacted. Next, we make an entire online platform where this entire set of musicians would be up there. These services that we'll approach ourselves would be able to book them for a couple of hours for the duration they need, and we'll pay them accordingly. What this will do is it will create a little chain. In this chain, there will be musicians, there will be buyers, and there will be an entire circle going around, and slowly and gradually, small amounts of revenue will be collected by Musicolab. Now, this entire framework also brings along a set of challenges. Some of them I'd like to share with you. First things first, although we will do our best, grooming and communication are still going to be a hurdle. Secondly, the willingness and ability of street musicians. We have to understand that they will be leaving their comfort zones and performing in restaurants and cafes, a big jump in the performance level, which could throw a lot of them off. Thirdly, and sadly, the socioeconomic differences. There is a good chance that not every cafe or every restaurant will be open to the idea of someone of a lower economical and social standard playing in their cafe. And lastly, visibility. Given that we will start from an extremely microscopic scale, becoming visible is going to be one of our major hurdles going forward. At this stage of our conversation, I believe it's a good time to introduce the entirety of Musicolab into the picture. So Musicolab is much more than just a social entrepreneurship portal. It's a full-fledged social media platform. Not only that, it's a social media platform exclusively for musicians. The idea is, say you're a drummer and you're working on a track, but in order to complete it, you need a guitarist. That is where Musicolab comes in. On this platform, exclusively musicians will be able to collaborate with other musicians with similar interests but different skill sets, produce music, and upload it right on the website. Not only that, we are filled with AI engines, we have a lot of cloud support, and the prototype is ready and tested. To add upon our entire idea, I'd also like to mention that we are entering a new market here. Similar services exist, but they do not provide all we do. Not only that, Musicolab will always be dedicated towards social entrepreneurship, and our musician for hire service and Musicolab as entirety will always run parallelly and smoothly. Musicolab is an idea for the long run. It might not give out the best profit results in the first few years of its starting, but it's a sustainable idea. And more than anything, it requires very little capital investment. Given that we are entering a new market and similar products do not provide the amount of services we do, I believe that Musicolab has a huge potential for success going forward. Given that it also contributes to social entrepreneurship in a major way, this is something I would really like to draw your attention towards. Thank you. This is Akshay Srivastav signing off.